Hey everybody, Steve Jensen here, Fish Hunts Guide Service. I'll film with Jeff Widman, Team Rhino Outdoors, and just spent a couple days chasing some muskies. We ended up with a couple little guys in the boat. Had a shot at a real nice one yesterday. The blade bite had been really good and it kind of disappeared, turned into a jerkbait bite, but you know, a lot of people love to fish bucktails for muskies, and in the warm portion of the summer, starting about mid to late June here in northern Wisconsin, the bucktail bite can be very good. And you know, I get a lot of questions, well, how do you choose a bucktail? There are so many different styles, varieties, sizes, materials involved, and honestly, you know, it's overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff out there, and it all has its time and place, and it will all work under, you know, different conditions. There are no cut and dried rules in muskie fishing, as many of you know. You just have to be versatile and kind of experiment through the course of any given day. But here's a few general guidelines that I kind of go by. For bucktails, I love them early and late in the day, especially once the water gets warm at 65 plus. 65 to 75 is the temperature range where I like blades the most. Once we get to that temperature range, I like the blades early and late in the day, like I say. If I have a good cloudy day with storms moving in, or you know, a little bit nicer weather as opposed to a bluebird day, we'll keep some blades going all day long, but a lot of times that midday period we'll switch to the jerk baits. As far as selection goes, my season starts out in general with single-bladed bucktails, smaller sizes, things like the rabbit girl, the rabbit squirrel. The single girl has been a good one for me this year. That's made by Musky Mayhem. And I typically start out with those single blades for the first week or two. Once I start seeing some reactions from the fish, then we start mixing in the double blades. Double blades, I'll generally start with the 8s. The 8s have been hot here lately. That's a Jensen Showgirl, the Jensen series, so it has that extra weight in it. The reason we do that is these extra weighted heavyweight bucktails make it a lot easier to cast them much farther. We can reel them much faster while still maintaining some depth in the water column with them. So those heavier bucktails are nice for that. The lighter bucktails, like the single girl, a little bit lighter, rides a little bit higher. So if I'm fishing thick, heavy cover, I like to go that route. As far as the materials go, marabou, tinsel. In my opinion, I like marabou when the water is a little bit cooler. So cooler on that range of warm water. So the low 60s to mid 60s, I'm typically relying on marabou. As the water gets warm up into the upper 60s to 70, then I like that tinsel. Sometimes a combination of the tinsel and marabou could be a great trigger too. As far as blade color goes, if it's a sunny day like we have today, I'm generally going to want to go metallic. So I'm going to go with a silver, a gold, or a copper. Those are the three that I like the most. If I'm clear water, I'm going to go silver and gold. If I'm on dark water, I'm typically going to go gold and copper. If we have a little bit of overcast, or if I'm on dark water, then I like the painted blades. And up here in Hayward, that dark green, flowage green, chartreuse blades could be very good. When I have those overcast conditions, or I'm in that darker water, then I will go for the colored blades. Night fishing, if it's a clear night, I like the metallic blades. If it's a dark, overcast night, I like the painted blades. So just a few general rules. We'll work our way up in size as the season goes on. So I'm starting with these 8s, going to 9s, and eventually 10s by the time we get into late August and September. And then as the water starts to cool, we're switching over to our jerk baits and other presentations. So just a few guidelines for selecting a bucktail. There are no rules, obviously. The other thing that's happening now in bucktail manufacturers is different size blades, and a lot of different manufacturers are doing this. This one here is a Musky Frenzy Stagger blade. Pretty cool, has an 8 and a 9 blade on it. Very effective, been a really good tournament bait for a lot of my buddies. Musky Mayhem makes the 10-9 combo a personal favorite of mine, especially as the fish like that larger profile lure. But a lot of the bucktail manufacturers are now coming out with that concept of differing or opposing blades, and what that does, it creates a different vibration or a different feel in the water. If you're fishing muskies that have seen lots of bucktails, sometimes showing them something slightly different can be the key to success there. So if you haven't tried some blades with opposing blades, or some bucktails with opposing blades, I would certainly recommend doing that. The Musky Mayhem 10-9 combo, the Stagger blades from Musky Frenzy. Like I say, most manufacturers are now doing that. So something to think about. Bucktails are a great way to catch muskies. They work for a good portion of the season and probably caught more muskies than any other lure category. So you certainly want to incorporate them. And these are just a few of the guidelines that help me get along through the day. And obviously once you figure out a color pattern or a size or a style that's working, we put more of those in the water and catch more fish. So that's how I select my bucktails. Hopefully you guys can figure out a good way to come up with a good plan for selecting bucktails for yourself.